In this video, we will look at how an atomic bomb works, specifically the little boy that was dropped in Hiroshima, Japan in 1945. Little Boy is a gun-type fission weapon that was based from the unsuccessful nuclear bomb Thin Man. This is how huge the Little Boy is compared to a person. It has a mass of 4,400 kilograms and a length of 3 meters. It's just a small bomb, but a devastating one. Let's look at its major parts first before we see its mechanism. Batteries and timer. 64 kilograms of enriched uranium-235, which are hollow cylinders. Uranium-235 is a chemical element capable of sustaining nuclear chain reaction. We'll talk about this later. The uranium-235 is divided into two parts, the uranium projectile ring slug and the uranium target rings. The next parts are the 3 electric gun primers, which are used to set off the powder charges. Next, it has the cordite powder bags or the charges. Projectile steel backing. Projectile tungsten carbide disc. Barometric pressure sensor holes connected to barometric device. 72-inch smoothbore gun barrel where the projectile slug passes. That is why this is called a gun-type bomb, because it's detonated like you are firing a gun. Arming safety plugs, used to make sure that the bomb does not detonate upon transport. Tungsten carbide tamper cylinder sleeves. Altitude radar with Yagi antennas, an instrument used to measure the altitude of the bomb using radar. Impact absorbing anvil. Tungsten carbide tamper plug. 4 modulated neutron initiators codenamed Abner, which are placed on the tungsten carbide tamper plug. This initiator is added in order to make sure that the nuclear chain reaction occurs. Although others believe that the collision of the uranium-235 is already enough to produce the needed neutrons for the chain reaction. Now, this is how the little boy is detonated. As soon as this bomb is released from the plane, these arming plugs are pulled out, therefore activating the timer running on a 24 volts battery. This timer is very important so that the bomb does not explode too early, therefore compromising the aircraft, and if it's too late, the intended high levels of blast wave and increased yields of thermal radiation will not be met. The recommended altitude for reaching high levels of blast wave and increased yields of thermal radiation is 580 kilometers from the ground for this kind of bomb. 15 seconds after the release, the bomb uses its barometric device to identify which altitude it is in, measuring the air pressure. The purpose of this barometric stage is to delay the activation of the radar altimeters in order to avoid external radar signals to detonate the bomb too early. Then, at 2,000 meters from the ground, the radar altimeters are activated, calculating the altitude of the bomb. When the radar altimeter detects the designated altitude, which is 580 kilometers, the firing switch circuit is closed. Then, the gun primers in the breech plug are ignited, which set off the 4 cordite powder bags. This then launches the uranium projectile towards the opposite end of the gun barrel, where the target is placed at a speed of 300 meters per second. Take note that when the impact happens, the 4 modulated neutrons initiator are also activated. The polonium and beryllium inside them mix together, then release a burst of neutrons. These neutrons are important in kick-starting the nuclear chain reaction. Then, the neutrons will bombard the larger uranium-235 atoms. Each uranium-235 atom bombarded with 1 neutron will release 2 more uranium-235 atoms, 3 neutrons, and energy. Then the new neutrons will bombard other uranium-235 atoms. Then the process is repeated, hence being called a nuclear chain reaction. This nuclear chain reaction continues until the energy released explodes violently, forming a fireball, releasing both thermal pulse and shockwave, causing massive damage to humans and other living things and properties. This kind of breaking down the uranium-235 atom using neutron is called nuclear fission. That is why the little boy is called a gun-type fission bomb. The little boy bomb that was detonated in Hiroshima yielded 15 kilotons of TNT and damaging up to 3.5 kilometers in diameter with 1.6 kilometer in diameter, having been completely destroyed where the fireball mainly was formed.